Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's JB, web developer. Thank you for coming back. In today's video, we are going to look at setting up sliders and carousels. It has been so many people asking me about sliders, setting up sliders. It's a main component used on very many web pages. Most of all the designs and even modern websites, they still use sliders. So this is what you are going to spend most of our time setting up in today's video, and even helping you set which of the sliders can you use. There are so many libraries that we are going to look that you can use to implement a carousel slider on your website. We are going to go through them, and we are going to use one of them, and most probably the modern one. Okay, so let me just talk about sliders themselves. Sliders is a very important component that if you use it on your website, you create this tuning impression of your products, and knowing how to set one and how to design it is very important. So we are going to jump in and we look at how we can make one or customize one so that it can help you to actually be setting up in your own projects. Okay, so before we go very further, there are three I think popular ones that me personally I normally use. Okay, so the first one used to be it is our carousel. Okay, so just simply go to your web browser and just simply type in our carousel, something like that, just to this first link that you see here. Our carousel 2.34 is the one that you go on to this. So this one is a good one. You can see it is a good one, and this one is actually based on actually jQuery. It is a jQuery plugin. And it is more commonly used by many developers, and you can look at demos. They really have nice stuff going on here. Okay, so the second one is Slick. Okay, the second one is called Slick. So Slick also, if you look at the demos, Slick is also good. It can be set up and you can use it. Okay, so the third one is Swiper. So the third one is Swiper, JS, and these are the three that I found most commonly used by most people. Okay, so to me, I've used at least all of them. I've tried to set up all of them. I'm just going to give my opinion. I'm not saying you have to take it, but this is my personal opinion. So this all carousel and Slick, they are good, but if you look at their GitHub, they take more time to update these sliders. So I would say for now I won't use these ones. Okay, they are not so much up to date. They are somehow outdated somehow, but they still work. You can still implement in your project and it has no problem. Okay, so you can just go ahead and see if you can set it up. And another thing I found is customizing all carousel and Slick is not that easy to customize it to the fullest, but they still have the documentation whereby you can go through and customize those ones. Okay, But in today's video, I think I will make one video on each of them, and this one is going to be the first one, where I'm talking about Swiper. So I think I'm just going to do the same projects, and I implement them using Slick, and also using Owl, and then using Swiper. But in today's video, we are going to focus on Swiper.js, because first of all, if you look at these guys, these developers are so much dedicated to this project. They have made it so much powerful in these days, and it is so modern that it is used in even React, Vue, and they even have an API showing you all these things, and you can look at the features, all the good features you would want: laser loading, 3D effect. They have all these rich API, parallax, say all these top-notch features. Really, this library, I find it intuitive. Okay, so we are going to today's video going to focus on looking how we can set up Swiper, and we are going to use it to implement it. If you go to Conga, I always like this slider of theirs, so you're going to use it to set up something like this for Conga. Okay, so Conga is an e-commerce. Okay, is an e-commerce. There are very many e-commerces. You can just look for another e-commerce, but I'm just going to use in today's video, I'm just going to get this example from Conga. I'm not going to build the whole entire website. I'm just going to focus actually on building this slider only. Okay, and then we will also go ahead and build, if time allows, build this part here. Instead of scrolling like this, we are going to put some sort of a slider whereby we can click and it scrolls these things. Okay, so yeah, we are going to spend most of time exploring how we can do that. Okay, so thank you so much. We are doing good. Let's see how we can set up this. So I'm just going to close up this all, and also Slick here. I even closed Conga, so let me just open it up. And yep, so I have my Swiper.js, and I have here the one who want to clone the Conga. Okay, so on my desktop right now, on my desktop here, I have created a folder and I've called it slider. Okay, I've created my folder here and it is called slider, and in this one I have opened it in let me open it in VS Code. So I have never mind about these videos are the ones you saw in the slide here. Okay, these are the ones you saw in the slide here. These are those two videos. They are these ones, and I got the impression from Dribble. The only thing I have my index, which is blank right now. Okay, I can first put there the layout just like that. I also have my style.scss, which is also blank, and then I also have app.js, which is also blank, and then I have the slides. These are the slides from actually Conga. Okay, these slides are, you can just go ahead, right click and save these images so that we can use them. Okay, just save. In real life you will have to design yours, so you can use Canva, you can use Photoshop, you can use Illustrator, whatever you can. In real life you can design those slides using those ones, or of course you can even go ahead and design them in CSS. Okay, you can go ahead and design them in CSS, but for purposes of this tutorial, we are going to stick to these well designed sliders. Okay, so most of these ones actually they just simply design them in Photoshop or in Canva, and then they bring the finished work and then they put the sliders there. Okay. So I have all these different slides. Okay, I have all these different slides that you can just go and download. Okay, I have 8 of them, and then I also have another one having the products. So the products are these ones down. Okay, if you scroll down here, okay, of course they are changing all the time, but they are just like these ones. Okay, yeah. So we'll have something to put here, and these are the images for the products. Okay, these are some of the images of the products. Okay, so that is it. So you can see I don't have much setup. Really, everything is starting from scratch. So I'm just going here to put just conga slider, and then let's see how do we set up our HTML first. So since we are going to make this one, we could first go here and try to make something like this. Okay, we could make something like this. These ads, you can even download these images and we can just put them in a minute. So you can go ahead and we put this one using maybe Flex. Okay, we can just go and put those ones using Flex. So I'm just only going to concentrate I'm just going only to concentrate on this. So in the home here, I'm just going to put 2 sections. So I'm just going to say section, and I'm just going to say hero. Okay, and then I'm also going to have down here products section, and I'm just going to say section, just say maybe say products. So the first one is to hold our this hero cursor, and the second one is to hold this second one. Okay, yep. So in this one we see we have these 2 divs. We have this one that is holding the slider, and then we have also this one that is having these cards. Okay, so I can just simply put dot hero wrapper, or you can actually just say hero slider wrapper. So let me just call it like that. So this is where we are going to have our carousel. So here I'm just going to put 1, our slider goes here. So our slider will go here, goes here. Okay, and then on this second one is we have the side cards. So I'm just going to call them side cards. Okay, so these are these cards we have on the side here. I'm not sure if I need to really put these ones. I'm not sure, but I think we can download. Let me try to save these images right now. So let me just put them on desktop, and I'm just going to create a new folder, and I call them side cards. Okay, and inside here let me put card 1, go ahead, put the second one card 2, the third one card 3, card 3, and the last one card 4. Dot put card 4. Okay, so that is great. So by default, so let's first go and see our project in action. So I'm just going to go live. So there are 4 cards. Okay, there are 4 cards. You can just say click go live. We haven't written any CSS at this point. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and it has opened in this edge. I'm just going to shift it here in. Okay, so we have here only saying our slider goes here. Okay, so the only thing I can do at this point, I can just simply go and give some I can go and do some styling in CSS. Okay, so let me copy this this hero section. Okay, so go in styles here, and the first thing we are going to do is doing some browser reset, margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. And then down here, let me just put this hero, and the only thing is I'm just going to say display flex, and let me also give gap. Let me give a gap of about maybe 2 rem. Okay, and then inside it we have 2 things. We have this the slider wrapper. I'm just going to target it, this slider wrapper, and I can give it a width of maybe 70%. Okay, or you can give it, of course, this one we can give it a width of 100%, and of which it has even by default. So this one will take 70%, and let me give it some background color to see if it is working. So let me just say red, and to the side cards, so I have also these side cards here. So to the side cards here, let me just do dot side cards, and let's give them width of 30%, and let's give it background color of maybe aqua. Okay, so if we go back, let's give them some heights, and let's first also link our styles, and let me watch SAS here. So if I watch SAS, it generates my CSS there, and I can link it here. So let me link my CSS, and mine is in CSS folder like so. So after linking it, it should do something now. So let's give some heights. So let me say height here, let's say 100 view height. Okay, yeah, so you can see we have our stuff really set up, where the sliders should go and where we have this the side stuff. Okay, so I'm just also going to imitate that we have a header, so that we have so on top here I can put a header so that we imitate a complete website. So in this header, if you look at this, is where we have these things here. I'm not going to try to put anything there. I'm just going maybe to put this image. So let me just save this image here, save us a ton of time. So inside the slider, I'm just going to have this header image. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to have that header image, and let me just go and put it there. So in the header, let me put img dot slash it is this header. So I have that. So let me just target it in CSS. So here let me just say header. Okay, so let me give it width of 100%. Okay, and if I wanted, I would even give it put that image as a background, but this say header image. So I want say header, and I target the image that is inside there. So I want to give it a width of 100%. Width, Jesus, width of 100%, not auto, but 100%. Okay, and if we check it now, let's see. Okay, so this is good. It's looking good. Okay, it is looking good. So at this point, you can go ahead and put this. Let me go to this hero section, and instead of giving it a height of 100, let's give it 60. In fact, let's give it maybe 80. Okay, yep, so it doesn't overflow. So you can see the setup is now fine. We are imitating the header. We have where the slider should go, and then we have where we have our side navigation. So you can just go ahead and put the side nav. Right now I'm not going to concentrate on this one. Okay, I want to concentrate on our slider here to set it up. So the first thing is, of course, you have your well-designed sliders, and now the second thing would be now setting up our slider. Now, setting up all sliders are the same. If you are going to use a JavaScript library, normally those libraries, they have a documentation. Okay, different libraries, they have documentation. By the way, this is not only about the slider. It can be any other effect or any JavaScript library you want to bring in. Most of the time is that the publishers of that library, they explain very well in the documentation how to use that library in your project. Okay, so we want to use Swiper. So the first thing is to see how do you set up the project, and step number one is to bring the library into your project. Normally, if you go to any library, look for some things like where to get started. Also not like so much familiar with Swiper, because most of my projects are done in React, and I prefer using some other sliders for React. And actually, even Swiper, you can use it in React. It has no problem. But as I'm saying, if you go to any library, try to get this part where it says get started. Okay, so we are going to click on get started here, and chances are they tell you everything how to do it. So if we are using installation process, it's us, these ones, people who use npm are the ones if you are using React or you are using Vite or any other thing. But if you can want to install via npm, is the one way you can bring it in your project. Okay, but we're not going to use this because we are using vanilla JavaScript right now. So just scroll down until where you find using CDN. So you can see use Swiper from CDN. If you don't want to include Swiper files in your project, you may use it from the CDN. The following files are available. So the only thing is to copy this file and this one. That is the first step. Step number one, bring the Swiper library into your project. And I'm going to do it by copying this the CDN, the style sheet CDN into my project. So just simply copy this, go to your project, and I'm just going to put here slider. So I'm just going to put here swiper, not let me just put swiper CDN. So be organized and put these things nicely. So this is my CDN for the swiper JS. Okay, so that is good. We have the CSS, so go back and get the JavaScript. So simply copy this one, Control C, come down here at the end of our document, before the end of the body tag, simply paste this. And we can also write a comment here, swiper JS CDN. Okay, and at that point, let's take this opportunity and we'll also put our app.js. So use a script source, and let's put our app.js. So this app.js is where we're going to write our custom JS. Okay, so the first step is done, bringing the swiper, the CDN links into your project. That is step number 1. And step number 2 is looking at the setup, most especially the HTML layout setup. How do they, because they, as I've said, people who make these libraries, they have their own way they intend to implement it. Okay, so just go through the documentation step by step, understand how they intended to use it, so that you'll be able to manipulate it. So the basic setup here, now we see, now we need to add some basic swiper layout to our app. Okay, so the first thing is copy this setup. So you can see they have actually 3 parts. The first one is the slides. Okay, you have where to put the slides, and the slides always have a need of pagination, which are the dots, and then also they have navigation buttons, and then if you want also the scroll bars, you can also take them. So let's copy this markup, simply Ctrl C, take it into our slider here, where we said our slider goes here, copy and paste this markup inside here. Now, if you look at how they intend to use it, there are some features here we don't want. So you can see, they can say they have, this is slide main container, and they give you, first of all, there is this wrapper, so there is swiper, and then there is this wrapper, and then there is this swiper slide. So we have the slides, then down here we have pagination, and then down here we have the buttons, the navigation buttons, which are like the previous and the next. Now they also have the scroll bar. So the scroll bar is this one. For those who don't know what the scroll bar is, if you see, this is the scroll bar. Now for this case, for this slider here, we don't need a scroll bar, so I simply remove this part. As simple as that. So we have managed to put the markup. Okay, we have managed to put the markup. So the second one is, of course, in this markup is where we're going to populate our slides. Okay, so next, let's continue with the documentation. So after you have put that, the second one is styling. You can style now, more especially your swiper. Now for us, that container, we can give it, and by the way, since we are going to have more sliders, this is also another problem that one of my students were telling me, putting multiple sliders in the same project, and that's what we intend to do. So in this here where they say swiper, they gave it a class. You can just come here and give an ID, okay, and you can just say call this one hero slider. Okay, so you give it an ID, and this ID is very important because we are going to differentiate it from other sliders that we are going to have using this one. Okay, so just on this swiper where they give us a class of swiper, create an ID. You can give it any other name, but for now I'm giving it hero slider. Okay, okay, so now after you have given this ID here, now let's go back. Now they want us to style, to give it really like some sort of a size. If you check right now, you see that we have something like this. There is nothing working right now, but we can go ahead and give this hero slider some height and width. Okay, we can give it height and width. So I'm just going to copy it, and I'm not going to put it in the wrapper. I'm just going to put it in its own stuff. And this is a good point where you are supposed to use let me do Ctrl B. This is where you're supposed to do your slider. Can I create here a partial file? So let me just say hero slider. So you can create a partial file for this to keep very much organized. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it before I forget. So I'm just going to go below here. Let me just say hero slider, and let me import it at import double quotes dot slash hero slider, like so. So I can bring in all the code here so that we keep it really nice and clean. So I'm just going to go here and let me target hero slider, and I can give it width of 100% and height of 100%. And if you notice, this is not a class, it is an ID. Okay, so I'm giving it only that for now. I'm giving it only that, and you can see somehow things are looking more better already. So let's continue. So so the first step was adding I'm just going to be repeating these steps, guys. The first step was adding our CDN swiper links from the website, that is bring the swiper library into our project. The second one was adding the HTML layout, or the HTML layout, and you add it where you have prepared. So if you want your slider, maybe you have it in this layout, please place it in a right place. Place it in the right place. You can see ours, we placed it in a right place. Okay, the third thing is styling. So you can add some styling to make sure that it fits where you want it. So the first thing is now initializing. After you have done some styles, we are going to do more styling, but for now let's go ahead and do initializing. So initializing is like really make it work, make the JavaScript really work. So simply copy this. So under initialize, just copy this code for the start. Okay, simply copy that, go to JavaScript. So go to our JS, and I'm just going to put here hero slider, and even let me put here hero slider n, hero slider end. So please, it is good to comment your work. This is to avoid any of the confusions. Okay, in fact, let me just use this multiply. Let me use this multiply. Hero slider. So make sure you have you have your code very well organized. So because you have many sliders, put the hero slider in its own sort of a block. So let me paste this here. Now if I'm to move you in this initializing, the first thing is we create we put this swiper into a variable called swiper, and we initialize it by passing the target div, which is having our slides. So if you see, they by default they have this dot swiper. Now that dot swiper is this, they are getting this class from here. Okay, they are getting this class from here. Now I don't want to use this class because I'm just going again to use another slider down when we come to products. So I don't want to use this class here to target it. So instead, I'm just going to use my hero slider like that. So simply copy that, go to app, where they have this, replace it with an ID of hero slider. So this one is just targeting the container that is having our slider. So just simply put hash, which is for the ID, and then you put this slider like so. Another one, then on the parameters, the first one they are talking about is this vertical. So this one we do not want vertical. So what this one means is they are going to be sliding vertically. I can remove this one. I don't want that. I want it to loop. And what they have put here, pagination. For now, let's first leave everything the way it is. But since we are using this hero slider, we will change it somehow here. Okay, we'll change it somehow here, but for now let's just leave it like that. So if I wanted, I would copy this, Ctrl C, and I paste it here like so. Why am I doing this? This pagination that belongs here, I'm trying to locate it using from this hero slider ID. So the way we target it in CSS is the way I'm targeting it in JavaScript. This is saying if you want to see the pagination element, by the way, this EL represents an element. So here you are telling it where is the pagination element. So the pagination element is located in the hero slider with a class of swiper pagination. Okay, the same thing you can do here on this navigation. So the navigation we are going to see, we'll create our own. So for now, never mind about it. So another thing, we don't need a scroll bar. So we can remove this scroll bar, as simple as that. So right now, let's look at our project, how it is looking like. Okay, so the first thing is we have the dots. Okay, we have the dots, I can see them there, and it is changing. If you see, guys, it is already working. Okay, so at this point I feel like I should put the images so that we can see it very well. So here where I have slide 1, okay, let me just go inside here and I put image, and my image are located in this hero. Where is the hero? Here it says side 1. So I'm just going to go and do for all these slides. So dot just say image dot slash hero, and this is image 2. For this one, go inside here, image dot just image, then dot slash hero image 3. So I have the 3 images. If we go back right now, yeah, they actually kind of fit in. They actually fit in. I did not expect that, but I like already. If you look at this is already good enough. This is really good enough. Like the slider is working and everything is looking cool. Okay, So the first thing we are going to do is working on this custom stuff. But before we do that, you can actually just need to let's first see sort of if we're not going to work on responsive, but normally this thing here, like on responsive, what I would do is hiding the sidebar. So let me just do simple styles here. So where we have here the hero section, okay, so for instance this one, let me say at media. Okay, so at media, max width 768 pixels. You would want the width to be 100%. I would want the width to be 100%. And for this one, we are going to hide it. Okay, for the side cards, we simply remove them. So here, just simply say display none. As simple as that. Or if you wanted, you would put them down. Okay, yeah, so you can see we have that, but you can see the images, how they are behaving. So what we can do is we are going to go to our slider. So let's first look at how our sliders are. So inside here we have a wrapper, a side wrapper, which is having our slides. So let's go inside here. So we target the slide wrapper, and to be safe, let me copy this class, guys. I don't want to mess up classes. Just simply copy that class, please. So I have that class. I don't need anything with this one. What I really want to target is this swiper slide. Okay, so go inside the swiper slide here. Okay, so the swiper slide is which is the one which is holding our image. So I can target the image within there, and I give it a width of 100%, and I can give it also display block. Okay, this is to ensure that it really occupies 100% of the width. I can also give it height of 100%, and I can also give it object fit cover to make sure it is not squeezed. So right now it should be looking much better, okay, on the small devices. Okay, not too bad, they are actually looking okay. So that is okay. So let's just work on customizing. Let's work on customizing this slider a bit. Okay. So the first one we can work on are the buttons. Okay. So we want to create the buttons to look like these ones. If you look at these, the buttons, how they are looking like. So we want our buttons to look like these ones. So we can use SVGs to make these buttons. So I'm just going to go here in the index. Guys, pay attention on this part. And by the way, it doesn't stop you at this point to use this one and leave it like that. Okay, if you're happy with this, you have everything you need. Okay, if you're happy with this, you can just simply leave that. Okay, and you can even just first make this one clickable. So where we have here pagination, I think we have here another property we can put, clickable. So let me just say clickable, set it to true. Let me see now if they are clickable. Yeah, so now they are clickable. Okay, they are clickable. Okay, right. At this point, if you don't want to go further customizing, guys, this is enough for you, and you have it already working. But let's take it one more step further and see if we can customize this and we put our own. So I'm just going to go to, I don't know if I should use hero icons at this point. Okay, I want to use to bring in the SVGs. Of course, you can still use your box icons, guys, you know that. So let me just put arrows. Let me put here some arrows, and by the we have these arrows with circles. I think those ones would be more nice. Yeah, I think we should put those ones. So let me just copy this one. So we have the left one and right one. Copy the SVG here. Now I'm just going to go here down. So where we have here these ones, I'm just going to simply comment this one out, and I'm just going to simply create here a custom. So I'm just going to create a class said swiper custom swiper custom buttons, navigation buttons, navigation buttons. Okay, if this is a long class, you can create a shorter one, and I'm just going to have these two I'm just going to put this SVG here, and let me give it also an ID. So here on it, give it an ID, and this one was left. Was it left? Yeah, I think it was this left. So this is the left one. So I've given it an ID of left to identify it. Okay, so I'm just going to go and copy another one, which is the right one. Scroll down here, copy this one, and inside here let me paste it, and let me give it an ID of right. Okay, as simple as that. So let's see what happens. So the first thing we notice, the ones that were there, they are gone. Okay, the ones that are there, they are gone, and then we cannot see them. So we're going to work on these ones now. Okay, so the first thing, I'm just going to go and target these ones. Swiper custom navigation buttons. So let me go to my hero slider, and I'm just going to simply put them inside here, somewhere there, and I want to start with giving them background color of like red, so that you can see them, and let's also give them Z index of like 99 just to bring them up, and then also give them position absolute, give them top 50%. Okay, this is just like to put them in the middle of the slide, and in what else, let's give them for now left maybe 3%. Okay, and the SVGs, let's first give the SVG. So I want to get the SVG inside here. Let's first give it, I don't know if we need to give it width and height. Let's just say 50 pixels for now. Height 50 pixels, and let's give them color of maybe blue. I'm just testing to see if anything shows up. So let's see. Yeah, they are here. Great. So you can see they have showed up on top here, and you can just see the code that I've used positioning. Okay, and this positioning I've applied it to their container, and I gave them some Z index to bring them on top. Okay, and then I gave them some width and some background. Okay, so at this point I want to give this one some sort of a width. Let's say if it can take up width of 100%. Yeah, so it has taken a width of 100%. And let me make it 0 so that it starts from this side here at this extreme end here. Okay, so this is good, guys. I don't know if you are following up very well. At this point we are trying to position our buttons. I put these two stuff we got from Hero Icons, two SVGs inside this class called Swiper Custom Navigation Buttons. I put these two when I gave it a right and left. So we have the right one and the left one. Now, if we continue right now in the styles, I gave this position absolute. I gave it a background color to see it. I gave it a top of 50%, left of 0, Z index, and some width. Okay, they are not, I don't think it is in the center. If you wanted, we'd go ahead and do a transform. So you can just say transform translate Y, and let's say negative 50%, and see if that one is going to shift it. Yeah, so this one shifts it in absolute center. So right now it is very well in the center. Okay, so to put these icons side by side, if you look at them, if you want to put them side by side, I can give display flex, and give justify content space between. So if I do that, they should be able to go on these ends. So you can see they are at these extreme ends like so. And if you remember, for hours of conga here, they have a background color of blue, of white, and color black. Okay, so let's continue for now. Let's first see what we have. Okay, so if I wanted to do some padding, let's say put some padding. So give them padding. Okay, top and bottom 0, but on the sides 2 rem. Just push them from extreme ends so that they are somehow inside. And then these SVGs, let's give them some cursor pointer. So you could give cursor here, cursor pointer. Okay, give cursor pointer as so that they are clickable. They look like to be clickable. Of course, right now, if you click them, they are not doing anything. We'll make that one work with JavaScript. And let me remove that red thing. So this background of red, let's remove it. Okay, so we could go ahead and now give them some background. Okay, so if I gave here background color, I don't know how it will look like. Background color of white. Okay, like so. Okay, that is good. Let's give padding of maybe 1 rem. I don't know how that one would look like. Okay, they become small. So instead, let's give padding of 5 pixels. Okay, and we see. Okay, and then let's give here black color to be black instead of blue. And then let's give also border radius of 50%. Okay, so if you wanted, you could, let me first see if I remove this 5 pixels thing. Okay, if you wanted, you could leave them like that. Okay, if you wanted, you could give them to leave them like that. Let me see if I give overflow hidden, if this makes any sense. It doesn't. You could leave them at that, or you could get we could get the instead of getting those icons, you could have gotten these ones, which are just simple arrows. But if you bring these ones which have like the outline, I don't know if they are solid ones. Just wait a minute, let's click on solid. A minute, solid. Wow, yeah, would have gotten the solid one. So let me just get the solid one, copy this. I want to replace it here, so go here, this is the left one, replace it and give ID. Don't forget the ID of left. And let me also get the right one, copy the SVG, come here and replace this right one. So instead of getting the outline ones, let's get the ones which are filled. Okay, so give ID here of right. This shouldn't change anything in our slide except putting them like that. Yes, so you can see we don't need anything to do with the backgrounds. So if wanted, we could remove that background. We already have them now working perfectly. Of course, if you want, you can just leave them like that, but I'm just going to remove this background color of white, this one. Okay, so they remain like this. Okay, or you could actually, I think it looks good with the background of white. I don't know. Okay, so we have our buttons right now already placed in place. So the only thing is to make them work by if we click here so that it moves the slides. Okay, okay, so just simply go to our app.js here. Now, where we have our page navigation, we have navigation and pagination. So here we have pagination and here we have navigation. So this one, simply put, you are going to target something to do with the hero slider here. So I want to target them here, like go inside the hero slider, and for the next is the right, I guess. So you could put hash right, yeah, and then previous is the left one, and so here we could put this very one. These classes are like the way you give them in CSS. So here if you put this means go to the hero slider and select the one with left ID. So with that, it should be able to work. Yeah, look at that, look at that, guys. We have been able to put our custom slide. Look at that. I like this, guys. I like this. This is so much perfect. Okay, so if I take it one more step further and customize these buttons here, you could just inspect. Okay, you could just inspect, and if you inspect using this inspector here and you click on these ones, you realize there is here a class, a div with a class swiper pagination, clickable. So you want to target this swiper pagination, and inside you have the bullets. So I could copy this class, swiper pagination. Actually, this class will also have it here somewhere in this. So where we have the pagination somewhere, okay, the class is here, swiper pagination. Let's target this one. Okay, so I'm just also go back to the slider. So inside this hero slider, we are putting everything here so that it doesn't affect any other place. So down here, let me put this. Okay, the only thing I can do is, for instance, I can give bottom of 2 rem. Okay, remember these ones are placed also by position absolute, so like you can increase them up or below. So if you look at them now, I've increased them up. Okay, if you want to play around with where they are located, you can use bottom and this bottom attribute. Like you can take them up. Remember the bottom, it adds space below it, so it can push it up. For instance, if I added like 5 rem, this would push it more up. You see that? If I went and I removed it, if I put bottom 0, it goes back at the bottom. So depending where you want them, you can just if you look at our conga here, it is somehow moved up, so you can just put 2 rem here to move these whole buttons somehow on top there. Okay, so that one is one thing that we have done. Now inside this swiper pagination, you actually have the bullets themselves. So if you go and inspect again, so let's inspect and use the inspector, this icon here, click in these buttons here, so you can see inside we have actually the bullets. Okay, so inside we have the bullets. So if I clicked on one of them, let me just click like on one here, and you can see, if you can see down here, you have the left, you have swiper pagination, then you can actually have swiper pagination bullets. Okay, and then if you go ahead, you can see the we have all these classes. So we want to target the bullet. So there is this span with swiper pagination bullet itself. Okay, so if you wanted to do anything with the bullet, this is where you can actually target it from. Okay, so you can see the bullets are here, and then there is one which has an active class. So if I clicked on this one, which is active, okay, you can see this one is called swiper pagination bullet dot swiper pagination bullet active. So this one, which is having the active class, if you wanted to change that, so let me just do this. Swiper pagination, the class is here of active, so I can copy this class and change the background color. So inside the swiper pagination, I can just paste this class here, swiper pagination bullet, and then you can target dot swiper pagination bullet active. So the one which has this bullet active, I guess it is as close as that. So let's try to see if we change, for instance, the background color to orange. I'm so much curious to see if this changes. Okay, so we're trying to change this swiper pagination, and let's see. Yep, and you can see right away we have it changed. So for instance, let's make it instead, let's make it white, so that you can see, guys, that we actually managed to target it. So it reduces, and you can see now it is white. Now for conga, it is black. The active one is black, the rest of them they have the white. Okay, so you can actually simply do that. So let's give it black. Okay, we can give it black, and then the normal bullet. So we have, this is the one which is active, and then we have also the normal bullet. So if you go back and you inspect, these are the bullets. So this is a normal bullet. Okay, so this is a normal bullet. You can see here it has this class. Let me copy this class, swiper pagination bullet. So inside here you can also target this swiper pagination bullet, and you can give it a background color of white. Okay, so for it they have white, the normal ones. Okay, so you can see here it has changed. Of course they also have the opacity reduced. If you wanted, you could turn back the opacity to 1, but I guess there is no need of doing that. Let me see if you do that, if what happens. Yeah, so you can see the opacity, it was down. So if you wanted, you can bring the opacity back. I think you guys, you are seeing how we are managing to change these things. Let's say if you want to change maybe the width, does it have width, and you could try to see the pagination width and height. Okay, by default it is 8 pixels. I can see here the blade pagination size. Okay, so let's say if we changed the width here, if we changed the width maybe to 12 pixels and height to 12 pixels, what would happen? Voila, you can see we have changed the size. Okay, so you can see we have 100% customized our slides to our look. Okay, and this thing, that's why I use the SAS, because you can actually have it done, so that in the next project you simply copy your SAS, this hero slider. You don't have to be doing it every other project in every project. Okay, make these ones to be, for instance, you can just go and make these ones to be variables. Okay, all these things here, the pagination, bullet, color, make these ones as variables, and you can reuse in your project. Any project you do, you simply actually reuse them. Okay, so we have been able to customize the 100%. I will even put this code in my GitHub, so that you guys, you can have it and you can see it is in one spot. Okay, I'm just going to have it, you guys, so that you can have it in my GitHub, so that you have a way whereby you can actually look at it and try to customize it. Okay, so at this point, allow me move to the next example. Okay, so this hero slider, we are done with it. Okay, we are done with this one, and let me just concentrate on now this one. Okay, so we have the section slider, and it takes in the same markup. Okay, if you remember, now what we want to implement right now, it is this down one here, whereby we should have somewhere here whereby we can actually try to click these things. Okay, whereby we can click, like we have the arrows here, and we can click and it slides them. Okay, so it is the same markup. If we go back to the slider here, it is the same markup. Okay, it is the same markup. So right now we are only going to copy the markup, the HTML markup here. We have already added the slider CDN links, so just simply copy this, copy it, and take it inside here, the products. So inside the product section, simply paste that. Now we do not want the scroll bars. If you want the scroll, you can just leave it. Okay, I'm just going to remove this scroll, just as simple as that. Save. Now we have our button, the navigation, we have our slides. Okay, so if you are going even to have more sliders, for instance, if you go to this scroll here, these are sponsored products. So if you want to put this slider and in the future you want to add also more sliders, more sliders, more sliders, and more sliders, make sure that you give the ID to the slider. You see, when you come here to Swiper, simply change and here you put an ID and simply say here this is, for instance, sponsored product slider. Okay, for instance, you could just say sponsored products, as simple as that. So you could just say sponsored products, and this will be our wrapper for this slider now. Okay, so inside here we have also our slides, and I'm just going to go ahead and put in the images I have here for the products. I'm not going to design the whole card the way it is here. You guys, you are good at that. You can design this whole card, but I could just like simply do it in brief. So inside the slide here, we should put, for instance, some things. For instance, we can put an image. Okay, dot slash, it is in products, slash products. Just click on products and let's put like 1. Okay, and then it also have some heading. Maybe we can just say it has a p tag of product 1. Product 1, you can go ahead and maybe even p for the price, maybe UGX, maybe 3000. I don't know, any you want. Designing this slider shouldn't be your problem. Like a single product is not a big problem here. A problem is to make our slider. So I have this. I'm just going to duplicate this. So simply copy this into the second slider here. Change this to 2. This one to product 2. Go down and here paste in, and this is 3, and also change this one to 3. Okay, yeah, so this is great already. We have our pagination and our stuff. So let's see how our markup looks like right now. So down here we have all these products, and by the way, you can see they are not working, but they are somehow well organized. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do, okay, the first thing we are going to do is initializing our slider. So you see we gave it here a sponsored products. So go to app.js. Remember this one was a hero slider. Okay, so I'm just going to simply duplicate this. This slider here to create a new one. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this for purposes of saving time. Paste it down here. Okay, paste it down here, and let's change this one to sponsored. So this is sponsored products, product slider. So this one was Swiper. You can give this one another name. By the way, it has no problem changing the names. For instance, maybe sponsored product Swiper. So maybe let's just say products Swiper. So give it a different name. And another thing is here instead of a hero slider, just go and copy this class, sponsored products. Copy that, come here and put it like that. So here we are targeting the sponsored products. Do we want it to loop? Yes, we want it to loop. Now, loop is this continuous when it reaches at the end. If you see here, the loop means if it reaches on the last product like this and you continue to go to the first, that is the loop. Pagination. Now, pagination, do we need pagination? And at this point, we don't need pagination. So this part, take it out. So for these products, we don't actually need pagination. But if you wanted pagination, you would leave it there. And even in the markup, pagination, remove it. So down here, after the products, you are going to see where we have swiper pagination. You can remove this part since we don't need pagination. I mean, those are the bullets. Okay. Okay, so we have this one, and for now it is not working. Okay, that is okay. Let's continue. For the navigation, these ones, we are going to create our custom ones. The triggers, we are going to make the custom navigation. Okay, and by the way, another thing that we would have put here on this one is autoplay. So if you wanted, we could put autoplay to true. So there's another one called autoplay. So here, if you look at our slider, it does not do autoplay. Okay, it does not do autoplay. And by the way, Swiper is very nice at the documentation. These people, they have all this documentation very well. For instance, you could just go on demos. Okay, so on the demos here, they have different features. And actually, speaking of the features, there is one I want to add on that hero section slider. So the first one we want to see is if you want to put autoplay. So you will see that all the things, they have them on the side here. If you want, for instance, you could just go here. You can see we have, for instance, infinite loop. That one we would have, and autoplay is here. So if you click on autoplay, now they give you an example where they are having autoplay, and then you can click on this core. Now this core is giving you an example or the code where you can see where they did autoplay. So click on this core here, and it will open a sandbox. Okay, it is going to open code sandbox where you can look at the code that they use to do that. So if I scroll down, this is all familiar. We have our swiper slider here. Okay, and go down. Now you see where they have the script here, and you see they have this part where they put autoplay. So simply copy this part here, which is saying autoplay. Simple as that. Copy that, bring it to our project, especially the hero slider. Let's put it down here, autoplay. So this one is the time it is going to delay to swipe to another slide. So it will wait for about 2.5 seconds. Okay, so if we now go back here, let's wait. You see that? So after 2.5 seconds, it slides to another slide without even clicking on it. And this is exactly what happens even this side. Okay, now we want to add in that fade in effect. You see that fade? When you click, you see there's that fade. So to add the fade effect, you can still come here on the demos. Under effects, there is this effect called fade. Okay, so if you click on this fade, and for sure putting the fade effect is very easy, But if you see they have more effect like Ceridio Cube, I would be very interesting to see if someone can put in this one. But if you want to see what they did, simply come and click on the core here. Now it will open the code, okay? And the only thing they did, if you check in their code here, scroll down, these are the images they have. They simply put in here effect fade. You see that? So simply copy that and come here on our slider here, and under the loop I'm just going to put effect fade. So with only that line of code, if you go back to, you see now changing, it is now having a fade. Okay, so that is great. Now let's go back to this slider we had made, this area one. Okay, so the only thing that we are going to do here, the all initialization is already done. So I'm done with this hero slider for now. Let's turn our eyes to this sponsored product slider. The only thing we have done is really targeting the wrapper by using the ID. The only thing is on the navigation, it is still having wrong navigation. So you can see here, hero slider, right and left. So here we are going to just simply put sponsored product here. Copy this and bring it here. Okay, replace it here. Sponsored products, right and left. So we don't have them this side. So what we are going to do is, where we have navigation here, we are going to put ours. Okay, we are going to put our navigation. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is take off these ones, and down here simply do custom. So let's say custom, in fact it is swiper custom custom nav buttons. So this one I just call it that. Okay, so let's go and look for the ones we want to use in this case. So if we wanted, we could use these very ones. Like if for simplicity we could use these the same ones we used here on this one. But if you wanted, we could change. Let's go back to hero icons, and this time I want to put these long icons. So I want to put these arrows. I want these wrong arrows. Okay, though you would just prefer any other design, it has no problem. Any that you want, you can put any of your choice. You could decide to use these ones. Are you seeing these ones? We could use these ones, the chevron right and chevron left. Okay, actually let's just use those ones. So let me copy this. So copy that, the left one. So come back to our custom here. So inside here, but we can remove these ones, we don't need them. So inside here, simply go down here, paste in, and let's put an ID of the left. I guess this one was left. Was it left? Let's see. I think it was left. Then copy this right one. So down here, I'm just going to have another SVG dot, oh sorry, just put that one and give it an ID of right, as simple as that. Okay, so at this point that they cannot be seen. Okay, can we try to customize them? Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to create another one. So you could go ahead, and I don't want to mix it here. I would put it down here where we have hero slider, but really you could just simply right click here and create another file. let's create this one as product.scss. And why I'm making this one is to make sure that you guys, you have your SCSS which is reusable in another project. If you are making in another project, you don't have to rebuild this slider again. Simply copy that SCSS and reuse it in your project. Okay, so let me just bring it in here. So down here, let me just say product. This is sponsored products. Sponsored products. Okay, so just say at import, and let's bring in dot slash product. So just bring in that product. Okay, so we are going to write our code here inside here, the product. Okay, so come here and copy this. Let me just copy this sponsored products. So we use the IDs to target these containers. So I'm just going to put that, and inside we can start doing a lot of stuff. So the first thing I can do, I want actually the navigation. I'm just going to first concentrate on the navigation. So go down on the navigation, which is here in this div. Copy it, the class, come inside here. Let's say do this. Okay, so the first thing, let's give it position absolute. Let's give it left 0. And let's give it top about 50%. And let me give it a background color of red to see them. And to the SVG, let's give them width of maybe 50 pixels, height of 50 pixels. Okay, next would be what we would put them in. If wanted to create them, just leave them like that. Let's say color, let me give them color black. Okay, let's see if we can see them. Give them some Z index. Let's give this one some Z index of maybe 999 if it can show up. Okay, they are here. Okay, so now they want to do the same trick, but this time what I want is I want to put them somewhere here. So if this was a section, let's first do this. So if you look at this, if you look at Conga, these sections, they always have headers. So you can see there is a header, like a sort of this header. So you could look for where to put this header first of all. So on top of the products here, in the section of products here, let me put a product header. Let me put a class of product header, which actually has a heading. So let me say h2 dot, in fact, let me just say h2, and let's say sponsored products. Okay, like that. And let me target it inside. So this one, it does not need to be even under the swiper. It can be anywhere, but I'm just going to put it under here. But it is not under this ID. Okay, let me put it under here. And let me target H2. First of all, font size, let's give it like 2 rem. And let me give here border bottom Okay, 1 pixel solid black for now. I want to see where it is. Let's go back here. Okay, so it is, you can see it there. You can see it is there. So let's give some padding to this section. And why not target the whole section? The whole section is called what? Let's see the section. It is section products. Okay. So section products. I'm just going to go down here. Dot products. Go inside. Cut this. Paste it inside here. And on this one, let's give some padding. So give padding top and bottom. Let's say 3 rem. On the sides, let's give 2 rem. Okay, so our products are looking nice now. Now to the H2, let me give it some margin bottom. Okay, so margin bottom 1 rem. Simple as that. Yeah, so it is now looking nice. So what I want is, I want to put these arrows here. And by the way, you can see they're already working for your own information. They're already working because of putting the trigger there. So I want to bring these ones and put them at this point in the corner here. So what I would say, first of all, let's say top 0. So I'm just going to go back inside here to these arrows, the swiper custom nav buttons. Instead of 50%, let's first say 0 and write 0. So let's first try write 0 and top 0. If you do that, you see where they are right now. That is a very good place. Okay. I could now take it on top there by giving a negative like 5%. So if we gave it negative, they would try to move up somehow. Only that the Z index, that's Z index, something like that. Let me see. But they don't have Z index. Okay, let's keep it to 0 for simplicity. Okay, and I'm just going to give them also translate. So if I say transform translate Y, okay, and I give them negative 50%, they should be able to just shift like that. Not X, I wanted Y, guys. Translate Y. They sort of shift, but let me try to increase this whole thing, the Z index, and I see if it works. It doesn't. Now, and avoid troubles, just simply remove this for now. Let them be there. Okay, so let me just remove this red thing here. Okay, let me remove this red thing. Yeah, so you can see we have now this, and now we have to put them they cannot be like this, putting one product like this. So what we want is to be like 3 products at the same time. So let's first add on some more products. Just gum here. Let's add on some more products. So instead of 3, let me just go and duplicate more products. So put here more. So this is 4. Change this to 4 and change this to 4. So go down here, paste, change this to 5. Okay, and change this to 5 also. Go down here, change to 6. Okay, 6, and also change here to 6. Okay, those ones are enough. So let's go on putting them on the slide. So right now we have many of them, but we are showing one, and that is by default. Okay, now what we can do is, if we go back to this swiper JS, there is where you scroll here and you'll see where they say scroll slides per view. Okay, click on slides per view, and you can see in this example here they have 3 slides on the same view. So to see how they did that, you can just simply do that, click on the core, and I'm showing you the documentation because so that you can be able to put in more features. So go into documentation and try to explore. They have even the code examples there. So let's go down here, and you can see the most important thing they have is they added in this slides per view, and you can even give the space between. So let's copy these 2 things, copy that, come back to our app.js, under the sponsored slide, add these 2 things, add slide per view. We want 3 space, we can take 30. If you wanted, you could change it to 24, it doesn't matter. And go back and see now, you see that? So right now slides per view, they are 3, and they even put in space. So if you wanted, of course, to go and change your products and make them, design them, make them look nice, that is all about you. And you can see it actually slides only 1 at a time. And we have been able to make a complete slider customizable, with even customizing the bullets, customizing the navigation buttons, and even putting multiple sliders in the same projects. Okay, so this has been so good. Thank you guys for watching. At this point in time, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You would have done us a great work, and this is how you can promote us to create more content. Okay, so I will put this project on GitHub, and I will leave the link in the description so that you guys can just have somewhere to get started from. So you can get started and just simply get familiar with customizing these things. You can still go to their documentation and explore more features. They have tons and tons of features that you can actually implement. For instance, like the keyboard controls, adding the keyboard controls, for instance, adding here just only like something like keyboard, something like was it keyboard, keyboard true, something like only that, just to add that if someone taps on this, if someone taps here, it can change. So you can see now my keyboard is able to actually navigate the slides. So they have a tons and tons of features that you can go and actually get familiar with. I like this swiper slider. It is so nice, having more features and so many features. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.